So you've finally come to Belgium to start your new life, and you're amazed how beautiful the architecture here is and how delicious are those waffles, chocolates, fries, and your jaws are completely dropped looking at those hundreds and hundreds of different variety of beers this country offers. But as you are new to this country and trying to settle down, you're struggling a bit because things are a little different here compared to your home country. Different in the sense how the locals here approach their day to day life, the way they do their chores, and most importantly, how they manage their money in this expensive country. In my opinion, knowing a few tips and tricks of this Belgian people is going to make life so much better here as an expat. So in today's video, I'm going to discuss top 10 things that will help in doing that and even save you some money. And living in this country for almost 2 years now, these things have actually helped me and my husband. So I know for sure these tips work. So without any further ado, let's start the video. First tip is to take advantage of the second-hand culture here and save big bucks. Belgians are big on using second-hand things and being economic and resourceful. Here, you will find second-hand furniture shops, second-hand clothing shops, second-hand book stalls, second-hand electronic item shops, and so on. And it's not like only people of lower economic class or the middle class buy these things to save money, but people of all classes buy and sell the second-hand stuff, and there is no shame in that. In fact, there is a pride that things are getting recycled and given a second life, and I find that very cool. So in my apartment, I have my dining table and dishwasher both second hand in very good condition, but I got them at half the price and saved so much money. And how can I not mention the collection of my second-hand clothes, the most fashionable pieces I got, and those clothes would have cost me a fortune if I would have bought them new. I think you should watch my thrift haul video. I will add the link somewhere on the screen, and I have shown there my collection of most amazing favorite pieces which I got from T2 store at dirt cheap price. Anyways, coming back to the main topic, it's not like you can only buy second-hand stuff, but you can also sell your old items. So there are many flea markets happening around the city. You can find the location and go there and sell your stuff. And these markets are usually on the weekends, so you can check them out. Also, you can sell them online, like on the Facebook groups. There are few Facebook groups that I will attach in the description box below. You can check them out. So it's pretty easy to buy and sell stuff online or offline. The second tip to know, and which will also save your money, is investing in a bicycle and making that your main mode of transport. Want to go to grocery shopping? Use your bike. Want to go to the office? Use your bike. Now, why I'm stressing on making bike as your main mode of transport is because the public transport here is not very cheap. For example, for a single ticket, it will cost you €2 and that is valid for just 1 hour after you buy that ticket. And if you happen to use public transport 2-3 times a day and you have to buy the ticket every time, then it can cost you up almost €10, which is a lot. And there is other option of buying a pack of 10 tickets together, which will cost you €16, and I don't find that cheap as well. Like I mentioned in the first point regarding the second-hand culture, you can buy a second-hand bicycle from any shop for much cheaper rate because the brand new ones cost thousands of euros. So better to buy a second-hand one, and you will get them in good condition, so you don't have to worry about that. Almost entire country of Belgium is bicycle friendly. Belgian government promotes the usage of bicycle. They want all the residents to use them for the betterment of this country to avoid pollution. Hence, you will find people of all age groups, from children to elderly people, using bicycles as their main mode of transport. And the best part about bike is that it requires almost no maintenance, no fuel cost or anything like that. So why not use a bike? But in case you are hesitant in the beginning to invest in a bike, then don't worry, because there are various apps from where you can rent a bike for a month or two, practice a lot, get a hang of it, and then you can think of investing in one. Swapfits is a very popular app from where you can rent a bike for a month or two, and the monthly charges are also not a lot, so you can definitely use this app. I will add the info regarding this app in the description box below. Then other than Swapfits, there is Donkey app, there is Blue Bike apps, and lots of other apps, so you can check them. So once you get comfortable, you can eventually buy one for yourself, and trust me, you're going to love it. The third tip that I want to share with expats is to take care of your rented apartment and also invest in third party housing insurance. Now, it is very important that you take care of your rented apartment as if it is your own, because if you do any damages while leaving the apartment, the owner will charge you a lot out of the deposit money which you gave while moving into the apartment. When you move into that apartment for the first time, inspection happens where the owner takes pictures of the house in its original condition. Then the owner has proof and can compare the condition of the house with those pictures. So you got to be very smart and careful. And regarding the third party insurance, it is a good idea to buy it because it covers a lots of unintentional damages in the events of injuries to the third party, or the damage to the properties of neighbors by your property in case of leakage or something like that. But of course, this third party insurance don't cover the wear and tear of the items done by you in your rented apartment. The fourth tip is regarding garbage segregation or separation, which cannot be taken lightly here. You have to separate the garbage not in two, not in three, but five categories. First is the green, the food perishable items category. Second is the plastic PMD category. Third is the glass. Fourth is the paper section, which is the cardboard. And fifth is the remaining junk like batteries or any electronic item which you have to dispose. So in total 5 categories, and there are fixed bags in which you have to put this garbage. For example, for the perishable items you have to use a particular green bag, and for the plastic garbage you have to use blue colored garbage bag. In my city of Kent, Ivago is the waste management company which collects the garbage and manages the recycling of the waste. So you will find the standard issue garbage bags in all the grocery stores, and you cannot find them on the shelves. You have to ask them at the billing counter, and they have a fixed price. So a roll of 10 green bags will cost you more than, I think, 11 or 12 euros. So that means a single garbage bag costs more than 1 euro. Now there is a reason for higher prices of garbage bags, because you are not only paying for the bags but for the service provided by Ivago, who collects the garbage and manages the waste. So a calendar is provided by Ivago to all the residents in which the dates are given on which day particular garbage will be collected. So for example, on Mondays green garbage will be collected. So yes, in the beginning you will find this tedious and irritating to separate the garbage and put in different bags and stuff like that, but then you will get used to it eventually. Fifth tip is regarding the unpredictable weather in Belgium. This country is notorious in terms of weather, and it is very common that in a single day you will see 4 seasons. I'm not kidding. So it is possible that in a day you will see yourself in a very windy morning, and by the time it's afternoon it will be very sunny, and by the evening it will be raining. So it's crazy here. So you have to be prepared for that. So it's a good idea to keep a weather app in your cell phones. Now there are many good options like Met Office app, which is provided by the government and it is extensively used in Europe. Then there is ViaWow, which I use and I find it pretty good. But you cannot rely on weather apps as they are not 100% accurate. So layering concept is a very good idea here to save yourself from the unpredictable weather. So when you go out on a sunny day, it is still a good idea to keep a thin jacket with you. If you feel cold in general, then always keep a scarf or a hat with you. Also invest in a good rain jacket because it can help you in windy and rainy days, because sometimes it is so windy that an umbrella cannot save you. So a good rain jacket will come to your rescue. So the locals here are trained for this weather, and they are prepared for all kinds of conditions. So they layer themselves very smartly and they don't believe in postponing their things. I used to do that often just because it was a bad day weather wise, but I don't do that anymore. Smart layering is the key. The sixth tip is regarding the car parking rules in Belgium, and I'm talking about the car parking in the public places. So in Ghent there are 4 tariff zones, namely red, yellow, orange and green zones, and the parking prices and the maximum time you can park your car depends upon the zones. Now red zone is the most expensive zone, which is near the prime area of the city, and you can park for maximum of 3 hours. So if you're parking your car for 1 hour, you will be charged 2.5 euros, and if you are parking for 3 hours, you will be charged 10 euros straight. So it is not cheap. Now yellow zone is near the 2 main railway stations of Ghent. It is little cheaper compared to the red zone. Orange zones are targeted around the residential areas of the city, and they are even cheaper compared to the yellow zone, and there is actually no parking limit. Green zones are the cheapest and they are located far away from the city center. And you should know that all the 4 zones are free on Sundays and on bank holidays. So during the weekdays when you want to park in the red zone or other zones, then you need to get the ticket from the parking meters there, and these parking meters, they operate digitally. You just need to add your registration number and the time of your parking, and that's it. You don't need to place a ticket on the windshield of your car. So these zones and rates may differ in other cities of Belgium, so I have added all the information in the description box below. You can check for what city you want the information. Also recently the rules have been changed in at least my city of Ghent, where you cannot take your car at all in Korenmark, which is the city center where there are all the shopping complexes. So as I told you in the second point, investing in a bike is a very good idea if you don't want to be dependent on the public transport. And regarding the private car parking space which you get along with your apartment, so in case you don't own a car, you can rent out your car parking space like how we did, and we get 85 euros per month for renting out our car space to someone. So you can do that too and save some money. Okay, we'll be very happy about the seventh point. So if you are planning a trip within Belgium during weekend, then there is a good news, because SNCB, which is the National Railway Company of Belgium, they provide tickets at half the price. So every weekend, starting from Friday 7 p.m. until Sunday, the tickets are at 50% discounted rate. For example, if the ticket from Ghent to Brussels is usually 10 euros, then on weekends it will cost you 5 euros. And the best part is that this rule applies for long weekends. So if there is a public holiday, say on Thursday, then this weekend ticket rule starts from Thursday until Sunday. So you can take advantage of these ticket rates and plan your trips within Belgium on weekends and save some money. Now the eighth tip is for all the museum lovers out there. So are you someone who loves visiting museums all the time but find the tickets very expensive? So don't worry, because there is a solution. So you can buy the Belgium Museum Pass, which costs 59 euros per year, and with this pass you can visit more than 200 museums in Belgium any time of the year and for free. But if you don't want to buy this museum pass because you are not that of a museum person but still would like to visit them sometime, so there is a solution for that as well, because every Sunday, at least in Ghent, for the first half of the day, which is till 1 p.m., all the residents of Belgium can visit the museums for free. They just have to book their slot online. So that is a pretty cool option. I have done that many times. So you can use this tip and enjoy the museums. The ninth tip for expats is to join various Facebook groups which are made for the expats exclusively. So there are expats in Belgium, expats in Brussels, expats in Antwerp, and all kinds of groups, and they are actually very helpful, because whatever information you need, you can ask your questions there, and there are so many helpful people who instantly give reply. I have done that many times and I've got lots of valuable information. So definitely join these groups. There is also this inter-nation groups about which I will add the link in the description box, so you can check them and definitely join these groups. Don't hesitate. And also the advantage of joining these groups is that you can connect with new people and you can find out who are those people close to your area. You can meet them in person just because you could connect them online. So it's a great idea to join these online groups. The 10th and the final tip is regarding the spontaneous planning with the locals here. You're not supposed to do that, because Belgians, they plan their week ahead, like they have their calendars booked for month or two, and if you suddenly ask them to like hang out with them in some city center or some bar or something like that, most probably they are going to reject the idea because they have their calendars full. So if you want to hang out with them, then you have to plan that as well. Like, for example, next week on Thursday at 7 p.m., let's meet for dinner. So they will add that in their calendar, and that time only you can hang out with them. And also, if they invite you for some personal event or something like that at their home, then you are not supposed to be late. They are punctual. So if they invite you for a dinner at 6 p.m., you are supposed to reach there by 6 p.m., like not 10-15 minutes late. It does not look good. They don't like that, and you should respect the time here. So that is the 10th and the final tip for you. So these are the top 10 points that I feel will definitely help you to lead a better life in Belgium as an expat. And if you think you have more important points, then please put them in the comment section below. I would love to read them. If you want to see more such informative videos regarding expat living in Belgium and also regarding food and traveling, then please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.